I'm releasing new merch again? Well, in case you haven't heard, I've joined the Elite Battle League for Season 2 with my own team, the Iowa Incineroar. Check out the link in the description for the all-new Iowa Incineroar merch.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the preseason interview for the coach of the Iowa Incineroar, my friend, my man, Landon, aka Infernomen. The biggest question on everyone's mind, I'm asking to you right off the rip. How are you doing today, my man?
I am doing all right.
Great answer. Before we get into the questions, is there anything you want to go ahead and let people know? You know, in case anyone comes in here new to the EBL, new to your channel, is there anything you want to let those people know?
Yes, look forward to the season. I'm excited to be a part of it. I know you guys will miss my voice on the weekly roundups, but I guess you can have Timmy or whatever. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, let's get into it then. So for you, you're obviously a new competitor to the league alongside myself, of course. We are new to the league. What made you want to join the league for season 2?
So I didn't ever think I was going to be doing VGC, but then Josh and I were, you and I were in the middle of our series, the Rival Lock, and you were discussing the EBL and how you're going to be a creative contributor doing the roundup, and I asked kind of as a joke if I could be a part of it, but then you guys got me down for it, and just being a part of season 1 with the weekly roundups and watching all the matches and stuff like that, I really wanted to try it out for myself, because most of the coaches last season had never done VGC before. Like Derek, he did really well last season, so I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. So that's mostly why I decided to join the EBL this season.
I like that mentality. I love it. Yeah, obviously I had to come up with a new team for the league as well. So what was the origin of your team's name and the logo you decided to go with?
So for the Iowa Incineroar, of course I wouldn't have Incineroar as my mascot, because it's my channel mascot. And some people have been going for their channel mascot and their favorite Pokemon, so I'm going for a completely different Pokemon, but I just wanted to do Incineroar because it just represents my channel, so why not choose as the mascot. And then for deciding for a hometown or whatever like that, I was thinking what would match Incineroar and stuff like that. But then I looked at Derek's team, Kentucky Kinglers. He just went for the name of his state, and not only does Kentucky and Kingler start with K, Iowa and Incineroar begin with an I, so it worked out. So that's why I went for it. And for the logo, just like Derek's, made by Josh, and I liked the design of having the team name inside of Kingler's claws, so I decided that I wanted that for Incineroar.
And I honestly really liked the idea you had when you brought it up to me. So I was able to do it pretty quickly, because I was like, this is actually a very good idea. Try it again, because I did it with the Kinglers. But it was definitely a very fun logo to make, and I do like how it turned out. Did come up with your team name and getting your logo make you more excited to participate in the season?
Yeah, because once I had the basis down for what my team was going to be, I was definitely looking forward to actually putting it to use. And with us getting closer and closer to the start of the season, what's going through your head right now? You nervous? You excited? What's going on? Honestly, I'm pretty nervous because I still don't have my team trained up all the way as of right now. I only have Raichu and Polywrath already. But basically all I have left to do as of right now is to get the last 3 Pokemon up to level 100, super train them, get their movesets ready, and get their natures set. So that sounds like a lot, like a big list, but really it just takes maybe a day or 2 worth of getting that stuff done. This weekend is the only weekend I have free for the next month due to marching bands, so I'm hoping to get it done this weekend, which I'm sure I will.
At least it's for a good reason that you're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
But I wish you good luck in trying to finish that as well. And you kind of touched on this question, but how are your preparations going so far?
Yeah, I basically got Raichu and Polywrath done before we even did the draft, but then I realized that like not all my Pokemon would end up on my team. And I had discussed with offline Nuzlocke, my team members and like backups and stuff like that. So at that point I was like, I'm gonna wait until the draft is over so I know who I actually have, because I don't want to end up grinding up someone up like for 3 hours and then them not ending up on my team. So which actually turned out, because there was one Pokemon that I had on my planned legendary originally was Regidrago, but offline recommended Tapu Lele for me, and then when the draft came along, no one chose Regidrago, but I went for Tapu Lele anyways. So basically, my prep has basically just been getting all of the abilities correct and leveling up on the mons, and of course, you know, Raichu and Polywrath are already with their movesets and everything.
So looking at your season here, are there any specific goals you have? You know, obviously everyone probably has the big one is win it all, but are there any other specific goals you might have for the season?
My goal being in the same division as probably the 3 people I'm closest to, you, Derek, and Jack. I want to win against at least 2 of you. Winning against all 3 of you might be a little bit too much to reach for, but beating at least 2 of you is what I'm looking for.
Looking at the team that you drafted, how do you think that your draft went? And you slightly touched on it, but did you have a plan heading into the draft? And you don't need to get too specific with it, but overall, just how do you feel like your draft went?
So there were multiple factors going into my team. The main factor was, originally the plan was to use 1 Pokemon from every generation at least. That didn't end up happening, but that was the basis. And then after that, of course, was to make have every Pokemon be shiny. Actually, that was like the original idea, to have every shiny Pokemon. And then after I had that basis down of picking out certain shinies, because offline had me screenshot all of my shinies and send them to him, it took a bit. But he helped me figure out how, like which Pokemon I had to choose from that would be good. And basically from there, of course, 3 of the Pokemon on my team are some of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I want to prove to people that Vanillix is actually good, because a lot of people see it as the ice cream Pokemon, and I know it's more than that, because I've grown an attachment to it due to how many times I've used it. It's actually a really, really good pure ice type, especially for Generation 5, because the other one is Beartick, and I'm just going to come out and say it, Beartick is not as good in battle as Vanillix is. I'm just going to put that out there. But yeah, I have a lot of my favorite Pokemon in there, and then I have, you know, some other Pokemon too that I really not only really like the shinies for, but I think they could be really useful in battle. And Poliwrath's moveset is actually going to be a bit of a trolly moveset, let's just say. So I'm looking forward to using Poliwrath for sure.
So in your draft, did you have any picks stolen from you? Anything that went awry? And if so, were you able to adjust to those changes?
So I only had like 1 main team Pokemon stolen from me. The other ones were like pretty much backups that I was gonna go for. But like since they were backups, like it's just like, oh, I have more backups. I don't really need to worry about this. So the first one that was stolen from me was my main Ultra Beast, which was Stakataka, which was stolen by Game Reviews. I was gonna use it because it's literally a wall, like in its design and in its stats, it's literally a wall. So I was gonna have that. I kind of was okay with it because at that point when it was taken, I was just like, okay, I got Regidrago. Regidrago's a wall too, so you know, it's not the end of the world. But once Jack took Sylveon, which was one of my backups, I was like, okay, I need a good fairy type. And my backup legendary, well, at least my first one was Tapu Lele. I had already drafted Hawlucha at this point, so I was like, okay, well, I think it's time to take the Tapu Lele. So that's when I decided on Tapu Lele over Regidrago. My second backup legendary was Giratina. I was gonna go for that one, but yeah, I only had 3 total Pokemon stolen from me. Like I said, Stakataka, Sylveon, and I also had Buzzwole and Celesteela as backup Ultra Beast. So I guess that's 4, but I kind of didn't count Buzzwole because Buzzwole was like, well, if I have nothing left, there's Buzzwole. but I took Guzzlord.
Yeah, I think we had talked about it that Buzzwole was going to go pretty early, and it did. It went round 2, so no surprise there. But how are you feeling about the team that you were able to draft, the team you were able to put together? How are you feeling about it right now?
I actually feel really good about it because, like, after the draft ended, I made like a whole card that I've been showing off on stream that like has all my team members on it. And like looking at it, I feel like not only is my team diverse, because like obviously 3 of my favorite Pokemon are on there, but even like putting those next to each other, they're pretty diverse next to each other. I have a really good special attacker or 2. Low and Raichu, of course, is a really good special attacker, being electric and psychic. Just like my team overall, I'm really proud with, because at first I was just like, oh no, what am I gonna do with these? Because like this wasn't like my main plan, but then I was just like, you know what, I can work with this, and I've been like focusing on it for a while. Incineroar's moveset is gonna have to be like completely unique to me because Incineroar's competitive moveset is completely composed of egg moves, and my shiny Incineroar does not have egg moves. So I'll be going with what works best with its ability, and trying to put that out there in its stats and stuff like that. So I'm really proud with what I had ended up picking, especially since I was stressed out about it the whole time, like if what I chose was actually good. But comparing my team to other people's teams, I'm actually really happy with what I ended up with.
Are there any Pokemon on your team that you feel like the other teams will need to keep an eye out for? So like if someone's gonna go against you, you know, what's a Pokemon that you feel like they need to keep an eye out for?
I'd say the biggest 2 would be my Tapu Lele and my Polywrath, because my Poliwrath's moveset, if you've heard of it, it's called the Rest Talk moveset, and basically it's going to be set up to have Scald to burn. I have Water Absorb on the ability as the ability. I have Rest, of course, that's what it's called, Rest Talk, and I have Sleep Talk. Rest and Sleep Talk together, it's Rest Talk. So basically it's going to be aggravating to fight my Poliwrath, because if you can't one-shot my Poliwrath, I'm just going to keep on resting it. So look out for the Poliwrath.
And so with that being said, do you think Poliwrath is going to be one of your potential MVP candidates, or do you think you have someone else in your team who could push for the MVP, or do you feel like your team will be pretty balanced across the board in terms of kills?
See, that one's kind of difficult because I don't stare at Poliwrath and say, oh, that's the next ace. Like a Rest, Sleep Talk, Water Absorbing Poliwrath isn't like a Libero Cinderace that has type coverage at the wazoo. But who I would say that does have potential to be my MVP on my team alone, even if it's not like the weekly MVP or the seasonal MVP, I think my Scizor or my Incineroar have like really good chance. Because, you know, Incineroar is the only one on my team that like I've heard of across VGC is like really good competitively. The other ones were kind of like my choice based on how strong I think they are. Incineroar is the only one that like was just like, I've heard this one's good and competitive, it's my mascot and everything, so like why wouldn't I choose it? But, you know, Scizor, I have heard a lot, has been good and competitive, and we even had a Scizor user in the last season, so I really think that my Scizor has a good chance of being MVP material, but I'm really excited to see, like, maybe I'll get surprised, and who knows, maybe the Halucha is somehow the MVP or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Guanako really did call his shot with Cinderace last season. You briefly touched on it earlier. I feel like we might know the answer to this, but do you feel that you have any underrated Pokemon on your team?
Yeah, Vanillix. that's the first one. A lot of people hate on Vanillix because it's the ice cream Pokemon and it's a poor design, but even Josh has said this before. Generation 1 had a Pokeball, and when it evolves, it turns upside down and grows a mouth. There's a magnet that becomes 3 magnets. There's a tiny mole that becomes 3 moles. There's a pile of slime that becomes a bigger pile of slime. You see where I'm getting at? So the ice cream cone is not the most uncreative design. And honestly, throwing this idea out there, I think that Vanillix is creative enough. because a lot of times when you think of creating a Pokemon, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna create an animal-like Pokemon, like based off of an animal. But Pokemon goes outside the box and does inanimate objects as Pokemon, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Vanillix is actually pretty creative, because I know that it's like one ice cream cone becoming a taller ice cream cone to becoming a double scoop ice cream cone. But like, you know, I just feel like I like their design for it. It's really something that, you know, I see, and like that's one of my favorite Pokemon. I can see it. So Vanillix is definitely a super underrated mon. And then I'd say another Pokemon on my team that I would say is a little underrated would probably have to be Polywrath. Again, bringing up Polywrath, because, you know, a lot of people like a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon, but I feel like we've had an upsurgence of King's Rock evolutions being the more popular ones, like Slowking and Politoed lately, and Polywrath just seems like it's been shunned out of the limelight recently.
Yeah.
So I think that Polywrath is a really underrated Gen 1 mon, and I'm really excited to be using it. Especially its shiny. I think that its shiny is underrated too. Not enough people talk about shiny Polywrath.
I do like shiny. I will say that Vanillix, I think above all else, has character. And I feel like that's what a lot of the Gen 5 mons who are supposedly over-designed have more than anything else, is some kind of character to them. Because you compare like Garbodor to Muck, I feel like Garbodor just has more character to it. I don't know, that's just me. But moving on with your team, are you confident in your ability to utilize your team to its fullest potential as the season goes on?
So like we had discussed in the EBL weekly roundups last season, being a Nuzlocke and stuff like that, I tend to focus on types rather than stats. What is super effective against what resists what, and whatnot. So my team was basically for type, like I designed it for type coverage, so I had as many types as possible to cover people's stuff. I'm gonna have to like study people's teams and stuff like that, like Matt and I have week 1. I'm gonna have to like look at his team and study his stats and like what potentially each Pokemon usually has for its stats and stuff like that, so I can like decide what I want to do with it. But I feel like if I think hard enough about it and, you know, think about which Pokemon are best against what team, I can utilize my Pokemon like super well. Because Incineroar, again, like I said before, I have big plans for my Incineroar, so I think that like not only will it be good against what's it's super effective against, but, you know, I think that it can be a heavy hitter on a lot of Pokemon. So I think my team really was designed with the help of Offline again to be basically what I believe I can, you know, have as the best kind of team for my first season in VGC.
You got the coach, so you should be pretty confident. Now, moving back to the league as a whole, as you mentioned earlier, you're in the Mega Division alongside myself. Always my videos, well, myself, the coach of the LA Inferno, always my videos, the coach of the Kentucky Kinglers, Whistled Dab, the coach of the Everglade Entes, and Jechnician, the coach of the New Brunswick and Ninetales. What were some of your initial thoughts when you saw who you were with and who was in your division?
I instantly saw it and I was like, okay, well, these were definitely not random. These were specifically chosen, because there's no way that Matt like threw all these names into like a randomizer and then me,
Funny
you,
story.
Josh, and Derek. What?
Yeah, funny story. He just got done telling me that he actually numbered us 1 through 10 and had his wife choose random numbers.
Okay, well, that's on a computer. I think that Tara probably chose us to be together.
Well, no, he didn't even show her. I think he said he didn't even show her like who the teams were. He just said pick a number and you're gonna decide the division. So I think it was completely random that we ended up together.
Interesting. That's pretty interesting. Well, that's what I thought when I first saw it, that, you know, these were definitely chosen.
Which was fair. Yeah.
But, you know, I think it goes for more of a friendly competition, because, you know, the other people in our league, Foos and So I need to look again because I forget things a lot. The other person in our league is who again?
Jack, Derek, Foos, and myself.
Oh, I always forget. I keep on thinking that there's 12 of us in the league and not 10. So I always try. It's just us 4 and Foos. So you know, Foos and I have known each other for a bit now. We did a shiny race together and stuff like that. So there's already been that sort of competitive feel. Josh and I did a rival lock together, and this next series that I'm doing that I announced today, so I can officially just talk about it no matter when this is going up. My next series is going to be a 3-way Soul Link with Jack and Derek, which isn't competitive, but you know, what I'm trying to say is, like, everybody in our league, like our half of the league I've worked with before, so you know, I definitely feel like there's a lot of friendliness going on in our division, but at the same time, you know, friendliness also comes with competitiveness when it comes to like, you know, competing. Seems like I'm using the least amount of words I can here, but competing and competitive. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see us face off against each other, because, like, as we saw last season, Derek was nothing but positive to his opponents, so yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Did seeing your division as well make you more excited for the season to start?
Yes, because when Matt announced that we were going to have divisions, I was like, oh gosh, don't put me in Guanakos, and he didn't, so
yeah. Yeah, I felt the exact same way.
Yeah, the surprise.
Go ahead.
The surprising part for me was when Guanako decided not to take Ace again. Derek has it now. Yeah. So what I'm looking forward to is seeing if Derek can utilize Cinderace as well as Guanako did, because of course all of us have seen season 1, except for, I believe Ace said he didn't keep up with the last season, but he's not even in our division, so it doesn't even matter. But you know, it's just I'm interested to see how Derek's gonna end up using that Cinderace.
Me too. It's gonna prove a lot whether it's the trainer maketh the Pokemon or the Pokemon maketh the trainer. We'll see how good Cinderace is regardless of what trainer it's with. But is there anyone in your division who you might consider your rival?
Probably you, because we literally did a rival lock.
I gave the same exact answer. Yeah, that's the exact answer I said. I had said that Jack's too nice. Foos, I know him, but it's just gonna be the battle of Josh's, really. And then Derek, we haven't really gone against each other aside from the verses, I guess. But you and I did the rival lock, and I feel like by default that should mean you're my rival.
Yeah, I mean, big examples from that one. Josh had like a 3-match streak against me in the rival lock, and then I finally like figured out what I needed to do to win those matches, and I flipped it around. So I've already got some practice against Josh in terms of battling.
Yeah, he does. I also said that I was gonna get mad if you didn't say me, but you said me, so we're good.
I'm just kidding, Derek.
No. Is there anyone in the other division that you would want to face? So the only way you could face someone from the other division is in the championship match. So who would you like to see? Who would you like to be on the other side of that final if you get there?
I'm gonna pull a Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage or whoever you want to say, and kind of make this like WWE, but I'm calling out Forsaken Ace because I've heard you talk crap about Incineroar and you have Meowth on your team, and I think that's clown behavior, so I'm taking you down.
All right, cool. I like it. I'm scared now. Looking at the league as a whole, which teams from each division are looking the most dangerous in your opinion, not including your own team?
See, well, I'm gonna have to like pull up the teams again, just to look like the Dynamax division. Looking at this one alone, I feel like LONEWolf has like a lot of threats on his team, especially with the Blissey, which we saw run people to timer last season on Foos's team. If he had Galarian Darmanitan, I would have said LoneWolf for sure, but he just drafted regular Darmanitan, so I also think that Guanako has a dangerous team again. The MVP of the finals last season is on his team again. So even though he doesn't have Cinderace, he still has Weavile. So if I had to just like say which teams are the most threatening, I'd probably say Guanako's and Matt's probably. Lone Wolf would be another strong candidate, but the number one threat I see is Guanako, because like I feel like he's one of those people that like no matter what he drafts, he can like really utilize it well, and you know, he was the MVP last season, so you know, he'd be the person to be afraid of. In our division, personally, I think Derek is the threat, because he drafted a bunch of powerhouses again like he did last season, and he's got last season's MVP, so he's got Cinderace. So like I said before, I'm really excited to see how he utilizes it, but at the same time I'm still kind of like terrified of his team. So I'd say the biggest ones to look out for would be Derek and Guanako this season.
I feel like another thing that I honestly, it just clicked in my head that people haven't really been bringing up is Guanako's Zacian.
Yeah.
Because it starts off +1 whenever it drops onto the field. So that's definitely going to be a huge threat to look out for as well. And I agreed. I said Matt or Sway. Either one of them. And then obviously, I feel like we're going to be getting that answer a lot again this season. Derek. Because we didn't just ban him from the league. On the flip side, are there any teams you feel might be underestimated but perform beyond expectations?
Well, I can't say Derek for this one because I already said that I think he's going to do well.
I mean, kind of could.
I could. Like last season, he really blew everybody's minds by how good he ended up doing. But honestly, I don't think a lot of people have been talking about Jack and Zekrom alone. Like when he took that second pick, I was just like, okay, well, let's see where that goes. But he's got Snorlax, which of course he showed us in his cage lock with Derek how powerful a Snorlax can be. I know personally how powerful Snorlax could be because of my Color Saga.
Yeah.
Dusknoir alone, very, very powerful ghost type. Sylveon, I was planning on drafting it myself, so I gotta say something about that. Tangrowth, I'm excited to see how he utilizes that. Bronzong, I heard is good for setup. I could be wrong about that. Cryogonal can learn Solar Beam, so I'm wondering if he's going to be doing that, using Solar Beam. It's just, you know, Jack seems to have like a very like diverse team of like underestimated mons that I think that are he's gonna prove people like what he can do, because I know that Jack can battle. Like I for one know that Jack can battle. Like he knows how things work. He's always talking about how good things can be in his series, and I'm really excited to see how he does this season, because I think he's gonna do a lot of cool things with his team.
Anyone in particular from the opposite division?
From the Dynamax division, I think. Okay, this is going to be somebody who underestimates themselves. Lone Wolf keeps on saying that he's going to suck this season, that everybody's going to like destroy him and stuff like that. But looking at his team again, like I said that he had potential to be a really good team in his division. He's got Xerneas and Celesteela, which are like, Celesteela is already a hard Pokemon to take down. So him choosing that Ultra Beast, like I was literally going to take that one for that exact reason, but he took it before me. I guess I can mention the Decidueye, although I have the clearly superior Alola starter. Decidueye is really good as well. So, you know, kudos to him for drafting that one. Again, the Blissey. Some people might run the timer like Foos caused last season, so I wouldn't be surprised if that Blissey does something at least, like, you know, maybe he's like winning by one Pokemon, the timer's about to run out, he's like, alright, I'm gonna set out my Blissey. I can see him doing that. I just think that Wolf is going to do a lot better this season than he even thinks he's going to do. So underestimate on the Dynamax division is definitely Lone Wolf.
Similar answer to Stone as well, for similar reasons. It's just the way he talks about himself. And again, you can draw that back to Derek as well before season 1. So yeah, keep an eye out for him, because I have a feeling he might do a lot more than he's letting on. But here we go. We are at our final question of the interview, and we're bringing this one back from last season's preseason interviews. Why are you going to be the champion of the Elite Battle League at the end of the season?
I'm going to be the champion of the Elite Battle League because I'm the Shiny King Infernomen, and if I've learned one thing while doing Pokemon, is that shiny Pokemon are the best.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I just want to be here to have fun, and like if I manage to the playoffs, that would be cool. Do I think I'm going to win the whole thing? We'll have to see. But I can't give a 100% honest answer and say that I'm going to be the champion. So that's what I want to say.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the preseason interview for the coach of the Iowa Incineroar, Landon, aka Infernomen. Be sure to obviously show some love his way. Of course, is you mentioned you got some new series and stuff. Go ahead and take your time to plug all that delicious content you're going to be putting out.
Yeah, currently I am doing a Pokemon. Well, geez, my cord on my headphones just freaking went psycho. Anyways, currently I have a Pokemon Soul Silver randomized type lock. The types are chained, so my starter, I'll spoil it for you, was a Giratina. I unlocked Dragon and Ghost. I can only catch Dragon and Ghost types. Spoiler alert, I catch another Dragon type and another Ghost type. So basically, like, the other types on the other Pokemon that I catch unlock another new type, and then, you know, eventually I'll hopefully be able to catch every single type of Pokemon. It's been a fun series to do so far, so I definitely recommend it. And the other series I have going on currently as of recording is the Pokemon Sun and Moon Extreme Randomizer versus with ItsReallyTimmyB, but that is wrapping up very soon. So if you want to watch that whole series, we'd appreciate it, because it's definitely been something to keep up with. But starting soon, like I said earlier, I'm doing a Black 2 and White 2 randomizer 3-way Soul Link with our good friends Jechnician, and always more videos, so look forward to that.
And yeah, that's it. Be sure to check out all that good content, of course. And before season 2 kicks off, absolutely the best way to support the Elite Battle League is to check out all the coaches, starting with this channel, of course. Since you're already here, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button and leave a like on the video, of course. And again, check out all the other coaches to make sure that you can show as much support as possible before the league kicks off. And when the league kicks off, be sure to support all the matches as well, all the videos and all that good stuff. To you, my good man, I wish you good luck for season 2, and we'll be seeing all of you real soon for the start of season 2, October 2nd. We'll see you then. Have a fantastic day. Bye.
Bye.